Hi, I'm Noah Chin, and I am an Oakwood High School senior, and I have been at Oakwood for 6 years, and I'm currently 17 years old. I also received a perfect score on my AP 3D Art and Design exam. So I submitted my AP Art portfolio in May, and then I received news that I had gotten a 5, so I was very, very happy about that. And then I also received another email from the director of AP Art and Design that I was included in the AP Art digital exhibit for 2021. I was honestly kind of shocked because I thought the email went to the wrong person, since AP Art last year was a very interesting class since it was online. As I was beginning to develop my ideas for the AP portfolio, I decided to change it to 3D art. Yeah, it was very interesting since we weren't in a classroom setting necessarily, and I had to mostly do the work at home or after school, just like downstairs in my little work area. The course itself, it was a little bit stressful since the deadlines, we had to produce a piece of work every 2 weeks, so I was definitely feeling the pressure of that. So the classes at Oakwood have definitely influenced my art pieces. The books that we read and the classes that we're taking are very open-minded and very inclusive. And Oakwood does just a really good job of educating their students on social justice issues and social issues that's not just like textbook based. And throughout like 6 years of Oakwood, going through middle school and learning about racism, and then transferring to high school and reading books about racism and climate change, I was able to just really broaden my perspective and just be more open to these social issues and learn about them more, so that when it came to my portfolio, I had kind of an understanding of what was going on. So Yearbook on Vogue is my 3D representation of my yearbook cover that I did for the 2020 to 2021 Oakwood school year. And I took the panels and the designs from the yearbook cover, and I implemented it and made it into a dress and a corset piece and a headpiece. And I wanted to represent my emergence out of COVID based on my experiences during COVID. And after so much time of like isolation and seclusion, I was able to really recollect myself. And now that COVID is kind of not over, but now we're kind of emerging out of the pandemic, I wanted to show the newly gained self-confidence that I have. And also, I feel like as a community, we're coming out of this stronger. And I just really wanted to represent that grandeur on a massive scale, which is why the dress is like 10 feet tall. So outbreak represents the physical outbreak of COVID-19, which is why I chose to make a bunch of little virus balls. And I used tulle fabric to kind of intertwine the balls and make it look like flesh. And so that was just like a physical representation of the virus growing on the human body. And I also wanted to represent the outbreak of racism towards Asians, especially after, you see all these like hate crimes towards Asians. I just wanted to take that idea of all of these racist words that are thrown at my community and kind of embrace it, which is why I chose my model, which is my cousin, and she is half Korean, half Chinese, and she's kind of embracing all of these issues, and she's embracing the virus as her identity in our community the whole pandemic. And I find comfort in embracing the issues that are thrown at us and kind of like flaunting it around and wearing it. Incandescence was influenced by climate change and the warming of our planet, which is why I chose to select kind of like warm tones like yellows and oranges and reds. After graduation, I am planning on going to New York City to study fashion design at the Parsons School of Design in Manhattan. And then maybe after that, I will transfer overseas to France and learn a little bit more about fashion, or go to Asia and learn about their fashion market as well. And then I hope to pursue and open a fashion business. I would advise other art students to first make sure that you get your pieces done on time. It's kind of like a time thing. You don't want to be behind schedule. That was like one thing that I struggled with a lot. So just make sure that your pieces are on time and that you turn them in when they're due. Another thing I would encourage students to do is really be influenced by your classmates and by the teacher. Everyone has like something to say, and it's really useful as a community if, you kind of like gather all of these ideas, and Oakwood students have like a lot of cool things to say. And so just like let yourself be influenced by others. Don't be like narrow-minded and in this one like, oh, I have to do it myself. Kind of like open yourself and ask for advice and critiques, and that should serve you well. Oakwood provides a really inclusive headspace to think and to articulate my ideas around, so I don't feel confined to keep my ideas secretive or to kind of undermine my messages because everyone is so open and willing to learn and willing to accept what I'm trying to convey in my art, which I think is very, very cool. There's like no barriers that I can't do or cannot do, so I really appreciate that.